Attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
First things first, I pop them, freaks all the honeys, dummies, playboy bunnies, those wanting money. Those the ones I like cause they don't get Nathan but penetration. Unless it smells like sanitation, garbage I turn like doorknobs. Heart throb never, black and ugly as ever. However, I stay Gucci down to the socks. Rings and watch filled with rocks. And my jam knock me to Mitsubishi. Girls pee-pee when they see me. Navajos creep me in they teepee. As I lay down laws like Island Coppet. Stop it, if you think you're gonna make a profit. Don't see my ones, don't see my guns. Get it? Now tell your friends Papa hit it, then split it in two. As I flow with the Junior Mafia. I don't know what the hell's stopping ya. I'm clocking ya, Versace shade watching ya.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the downtown studios of Cranford, New Jersey. You're here at the Commissioner's Cove. I'm alongside the co-commissioner of 13th Legion, and I am the commissioner. Ricky let me down. How are you? Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Commish.
I appreciate you coming out this morning.
Yeah, no problem.
There's no traffic today, correct?
None at all.
All right. That's good.
We did say it was going to be a scheduling conflict, but we figured it out.
We sure did. All right, guys. Welcome to week number 4's recap. All right. We got a good program installed for you guys today. Couple of we have
I don't know, Commish. I don't know.
Well, we're going to start it off like that.
A little upset.
Yeah. Don't get me started, all right? Don't get me started. All right. We're going to start off with this week's episode. Obviously, we have another sponsor this
Who's
week.
it brought to us by this week?
This week, this program is brought to us by El Nino Emergency Shelters, just in time for hurricane season.
Be prepared for your emergencies.
Be prepared. All right. Thanks, El Nino. All right. We're going to do the recap of the week. Recap of the week was it was a tough week for us. Very tough.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's just get into it, Commish. Let's just go over the recap of the game.
All right. Let's get into this. All right. Game number 1 featured Leathernecks versus Devil Dog. The Battle of the Marine Corps. Hoorah. All right. This one, Devil Dog won this game 101-96, propelling Devil Dog to 4-0.
I want to say that this is his first time in first place at 4-0.
4-0. This is every week. Every week we're doing this.
Resurgent Derrick Henry for him this game.
Go figure. He starts Derrick Henry after 3 weeks, and guess what? He paid dividends for him. 28 points. DeAndre Swift came down from his high a little bit, but he did give him 17 points. And Chris Olave, one of his main horses, is not doing that well right now. I think because of the injury to Derek Carr, gave him 1 point. And Donald Parham, his tight end, is kind of hurting him with 0 points. I was surprised in that one because Parham is really a red zone target.
He was. He has been, yes, including last year.
Yep.
Yes.
And then if you look at Leathernecks over here, Kirk Cousin kind of like laid an egg. He wasn't his top performer, but that's okay.
He always plays better at home.
Well, everyone does on turf. I mean, we're not in the dome. Josh Jacobs, 27 points. He finally came alive. And Mr. Isaiah Pacheco, the Boricua, with 26 points.
Rutgers.
Yeah. Rutgers. He likes to wear red, and he was home.
He was.
So he showed out.
Great homecoming for him.
All right. His wide receivers weren't doing that well. Robert Woods, Jacoby Myers, and T. Higgins. T. Higgins took another loss. He took another L. T. Higgins is hurt, and he's going to have to replace him.
Broken rib.
Broken rib. Then his tight end's not doing that well. Goddard, I don't know. He hasn't done anything all year. I think it's a new coordinator. We talked about that in previous weeks. Dallas Goedert. They did say that they want to get him going, but they say a lot of things, and we read about a lot of stuff, and stuff never happens. Let me see his bench real quick. On his bench,
I was wrong about one thing last week.
What was that?
Definitely, I didn't think they were going to start Bryce Young and take a chance on the young rookie's ankle, but
I told you
wrong.
Yeah, but doesn't matter. Bryce Young, he sat him 6 points, but there's nothing to look at on his bench. Let's go to game number 2.
All right, let's go game 2.
All right.
Son of El and El Nino.
Son of El and El Nino.
Blowout of the week, also.
Yeah, yep.
Unfortunately for the champ.
This is the blowout of the week. It was a tough loss for the former champ, but a good win for the young kid. The young kid.
Yeah.
Despite all his injuries, El Nino is is looking a little strong right now. You know, but I believe one more injury is going to hurt him. But we're not wishing that upon anyone. El Nino was led by the top performer of the week, Mr. Christian McCaffrey.
Yes.
What he drop? A what?
A 50 burger.
A 50 burger. You know,
It's tough to as an opponent. It's tough to come back against someone on the other team who scores 50 points.
Well, I give up. I get 45 and I still lose. He gets 50 and still wins. So, hey, it is what
Some
it is.
people are more unfortunate than others, Commish.
Yeah, I hear that.
But even if he didn't score 50, I mean, he did win by 71 points. Based on the fact that he had a good all-around performance from most of his players, with the exception of Gainwell and Tutu Atwell. Every single one of his starters, double figures. His defense, 22 points. Son of El really had no chance on that one. I mean, Lamar and Alvin, can I just say Alvin Kamara? All right, I understand that Carr was hurt. But if their choice, they're going to 14 passes to Alvin Kamara, he caught 13. That alone is, how do you come back from 13 points alone just from the catches, let alone the yardage after that?
I just don't understand with that offense, all those wide receivers, why would you check down all day long? But, I mean, it's a beautiful thing for Mr. Kamara owner, but...
Well, unfortunately for the champ, DeAndre didn't do much, and Tariq, he came back down to mortality this week.
Yeah, he sure did. Speaking about McCaffrey, the biggest performer of the week, McCaffrey, I just want to throw his stats out there. 50 points, 176 rushing yards, 71 receiving yards, 7 catches with not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 touchdowns.
4, yes.
4
touchdowns.
You think he duplicates that against the Dallas defense this week coming up?
I think he might have a little problem doing that.
We'll see.
Just a little bit.
We'll see. On the bench.
On the bench, though, you still have to understand that El Nino had a pretty good showing even on his bench.
He sure did. On his bench, he looked strong. All right. 27 from Cole Clement. Nobody expected that.
That one game, this is just an indication of how bad the tight end's position is in fantasy right now. That one game by Cole Kmet has propelled him into a top 5 tight end. It's unbelievable.
But
it's you're throwing a dart at a dartboard right now for any tight end.
But if he starts him next week, Cole Kmet can give you either 27 or he can give you 1. So that's the chance you're gonna have to take.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, on the bench for Son of El, there's nothing to look at. Let's go to Let's go to the next matchup right now.
Okay, it's unfortunately my matchup. Part of my frustration. All right, but good win by Family Curse.
Before you say anything, do I need to hit this button?
Yes. Let me just get this out.
Oh, you could do it.
Okay. I am tired of all the time that I'm as an performance is just ridiculous. It's frustration. That's okay.
All right.
I got it out.
You got it all out.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. Let's talk about the game. It'll be all right.
When you draft guys and they form, makes for a very long week. All right. I had to get that out.
Understood.
All right. So, but basically, listen, my feelings about stud guys and what their point total should be. Obviously, my quarterback and my number 1 wide receiver did not perform up to standards. Even though, Puka gave me 32 points, it's only one guy. I needed more guys to perform. And so essentially, I called you after the game and I was really frustrated. And, I said, here's a guy, Patrick Mahomes, only giving me 13 points, but a rookie, Anthony Richardson, gave my opponent 32.
Well, we talked about that the last podcast. Last week's podcast. I don't think that I gave him the idea to start him. When you said don't give him any idea, it's just right there. It was something, you just knew he was going to do that. I knew it. You knew it. You did know it. it wasn't gonna. You weren't gonna pull the wool over the guy's head, and he did start and give him 32 points. Now let's talk about your team real quick. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's dealing with an injury, and hold on, and then you get Jameson Williams back. He's coming back. So how do you think that's going to affect Amon-Ra St. Brown? Do you think he's getting more targets? Because there's a lot of mouths to feed in Detroit now.
I believe Jameson will affect Josh Reynolds more so than Amon-Ra. Amon-Ra is always a slot in the middle of the field, under the defense type of receiver, and Josh Reynolds was taking the top off, and that's what Jameson has been known for. That's what they drafted him for. I think that he might have some impact, but not as much as most people think, and that's what I'm counting on anyway. But the person I hope to be more involved from that team is obviously Jahmyr Gibbs, who I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if Detroit's front office knows how to deal with someone they drafted so high. So
yeah, listen, I agree with you on that one. It
would be a good week to do the cut bait or stay segment with Jahmyr, but.
I don't think you cut bait with him. I think you're holding on to him and hoping.
Yes. Maybe the second half of the season is a different animal for Jahmyr.
Yeah. And I'll tell you.
And let me just say, going back to the tight end spot, this might be the beginning of the end for Darren Waller
he's a ready cut bait candidate.
Again, with the tight end position being so bad, I don't know if you cut bait, but you just can't expect him to be your tight end, not even 2 anymore. You're looking for a dart throw again as a tight end 3.
I do want to talk about your bench a little bit. You picked up C.J. Stroud. I spoke about that. I had an interview with El Nino about a week ago, and I told him to pick up C.J. Stroud. He said, no, I trust Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson didn't do that bad. But C.J. Stroud is starting to be – he might be a must-start. Now, I do notice that you have Patrick Mahomes and C.J. Stroud. Like,
you do know that.
What are you going to do?
My philosophy, I am not a 2-quarterback guy.
No, you're not.
I've never been one. This is the first year I think I had 2 quarterbacks on the roster. This is a very strange thing for me. I covet running backs a lot more. You'll always see 7, 8 running backs on my squad. You just can't deny what he's done right now. I forget where he is. He's in the top 10 or the top 12. He's a top 12 quarterback in our league.
But my question to you is, would you start him over Patrick Mahomes? That's the question. Because you've been loyal to Patrick Mahomes for the last couple of years.
I have been.
You have.
Yeah. I don't see a time where I would start Stroud over Mahomes, except in the bye week.
All right, that's fair. All right, let's look at Family Curse. Did well all around. Jerome Ford.
A.J. Brown, another blow-up game.
Yeah.
They gave him the oil last game. Do you think they could have throttled back a little bit more? Nope, guess not.
No, that's a lot of WD-40 right there. A lot of WD-40. His bench, Godwin did pretty well on the bench. Lazard did well. Marquise Brown is an intriguing individual because rumor on the street is he might be getting traded. That's the rumor to another team. The only problem with that is he goes to another team. He's got to learn the system, but that bodes well for a lot of people though, because whoever picked up the backup from the Cardinals, which I believe it was you off the waiver wire, you might benefit from that.
I perhaps may. I didn't hear that rumor, but there are a lot of other rumors also. You hear Mike Evans might get traded, T. Higgins might get traded.
Well, T. Higgins won't get traded now. He's hurt with his rib.
It doesn't matter. His rib is not going to keep him out all year, and teams will let me just ask you, Kamish, if Burrow is playing the way he is, obviously hurt, and Cincinnati loses their next 2 games right before the trade deadline.
You got to trade him.
Yeah,
because you got to start rebuilding.
Who's coming out next year? Marvin Harrison
Jr. Yeah.
So you never know. They at that point, I don't know what Cincy's record might be by the end of the year, but they might have a top 10 pick this year.
But do they need more wide receivers though?
If you're going to get rid of T. Higgins, yes.
All right. Nobody wants to talk about the Bengals anymore. Let's move on to the next game.
Next game on the docket is Butt Fumble and Just My Luck.
All right. Butt Fumble, Just My Luck. Butt Fumble squeaked by this game, 116-99. Propelling Butt Fumble to 2-2. Just My Luck to 1-3. In this game, Jalen Hurts, it was kind of his coming out party, 28 points. Brian Robinson with 12. Michael Thomas, we just talked about that in New Orleans, 13 catches for Alvin Kamara, and Michael Thomas gets 4 catches for 53 yards. Cortland Sutton he's still getting touchdowns. It's about 3 or 4 weeks in a row he's gotten a touchdown, which is pretty good. Garrett Wilson came alive on, I believe, Monday night, right? Or Sunday night football. 9 receptions, 60 yards, 15 points. Sam Laporta, I like that rookie tight end. Think he's going to do well. And the Jets gave him 10. And on the bench, okay, let's move on.
Nothing really to
look at. Just my luck with Justin Herbert, 23 points. Rico Dodell, there he is. Yes. There goes the man, the myth, the legend.
He did get hurt, though.
Yeah, but he did get hurt, but 1 point.
1 point.
Against me, 13.
Yes, well, against you is different.
Right.
Everyone does well against you.
Right. Kyron Williams with 29. Amari Cooper took a step back with 2 points. Debo's hurt. That's a tough, he got what did he get? 3 rushes, 6 yards, not even 1 target. Jamar Chase, after his 12 to 13 catches against my team, he got 7 catches, 73 yards for 14 points. George Kittle disappeared. 1 point. Chris Boswell and the Tampa Bay defense did very well for him. And his bench,
definitely nothing there on the
nothing on the bench.
For just my luck.
All right.
I there's not really much to say about these two teams. I know this, Bud Fumble's happy to be 2-2. He's third in his division, but there's really nothing else to be said. I know he's probably hoping that his guys perform a lot better than this. So let's just move on then. And let's get over to Crystal Blue and show me your TDs. Another close game. Crystal Blue.
So here, Crystal Blue with the 96-87 win. So Crystal Blue again against everyone.
Speak to your frustration, brother. Let me hear it. Get it out of your system.
Oh man, not yet. My game's up next. So Crystal Blue won 96-87. Crystal Blue's top performer here was Devon Achane. He actually started him, which was fantastic.
Smart move.
Yes. Jerry Jeudy, another individuals talk about getting traded. We don't know yet. Devontae Smith, 14. Jalen Waddles, he
hasn't shown up.
He hasn't showed up
far
for some reason.
But Mike McDaniels, I'm sure he just can't wait.
He's cooking
to unleash him. Yeah.
Yep, he's got the ingredients in the kitchen. Hopefully, he unleashes against the Giants this week. We'll see. Philly with 6 points. Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's another one. Joe Burrow, that's a tough one. He starts Joe Burrow with 3 points, and Baker Mayfield with 27. Now, it's amazing. It's amazing how Crystal Blue with all these little points, and he still wins, and making his record 3-1. Show me TDs. Let's see here. Jordan Love, Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon gave up a first-round pick last year for Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon has not shown up at all. You got to, you're invited to the party, Joe, if you want to show up. He's invited. He sure is invited to the party, but he hasn't been around. All right, Alexander.
Well, I must say that, we talked a lot about, his wide receivers and how they're a little older, but they've been performing. This week it just didn't happen. Mike Evans did go out with a hamstring injury. Devontae went out for a short period of time with a shoulder injury, but he still had a decent showing. Right. Pittman completely off the charts. He didn't even show up.
Pittman hasn't been around for 2 weeks now, I believe.
No, this is his first time that he hasn't had double digits in targets.
Let's take a look. Yeah, you're right. 5 points on 5 receptions, and he's 11, 12, 11, and 5. Well, that's because Richardson came back. Even though Richardson was there week 1, it was his first week. Week 2, he was getting acclimated to the league. Now week 3, you got what's his name? Minshew. Gardner Minshew was the quarterback, 11 targets, and then all of a sudden back to the running game, 5 targets.
I think a lot of it had to do with the team they were playing and the fact that I think Richardson only had maybe. Well, I don't even know. I don't want to take a guess. I'm just gonna go and check this out because I know I played against Family Curse. Richardson did most of his damage with his legs, but he only threw 25 passes and completed 11. So it's tough to get productivity as a wide receiver with only 11 completions and you're only getting 1 of them. So that's unfortunately the way it goes. Is that going to happen every week? Absolutely not. You have to expect it with a rookie quarterback.
Well,
every once in a while.
It has been happening every week for him. So you're saying, is that going to happen? I believe it is. That's just me. I believe it is. So let's go back to this game. Mike Evans, I believe he was a little injured. I believe he was injured, wasn't he?
He hurt his hammy.
He was
warming it up on the sides, but doing the bike thing. But
right. So Mike Evans with 3 receptions.
They didn't really need it. Their defense really shut New Orleans down because Carr was hurt. They just kept everything in front of them, and then that was the wrap.
Yeah. On both benches, Crystal Blue, not only with his luck, he is soon to be getting Saquon Barkley back, which is great for him, and that's about it. All right, let's go to the next
Well, I
game.
will say this about, just show me your TDs and AJ. He's been active from what I can see.
Yes.
On the waiver wire, he's not giving up. I know we tease every week saying he's one loss away from selling his team, but I'm happy that he's trying.
So am I. He's a vital owner to the league, and we need
Two-time
him.
champ, yeah, we do need him.
All right, let's go to.
Listen, this was the game of the week. We picked this one last week as the game of the week, and it did not disappoint. Unfortunately for you, came out on the low end, but you made it a lot closer.
Yeah.
You made it a lot closer than what it was when before that last game started. I mean, I know you could. If Dallas could have kept scoring on their defense, you might have won this game. But there were two other reasons why you could have won this game.
Are you talking
Care to
about?
elaborate?
Yeah. I guess the biggest bonehead non-start of the week was Purdy over Fields. I mean, what the are you?
I listen. I can understand your pain. I do.
You have
Well, the other thing too is, and I don't want to rub salt in the wound, but it wasn't just Fields. I mean, you didn't start DJ Moore either.
I mean, I just don't understand this guy. I'm chasing stuff. I really am. I mean, Purdy gives me 23, Fields 34. I'll start Fields this week, and he'll give me 3. Purdy will give me 25. I can't keep doing this. Okay? Then you get Raheem Mostert. He played the Buffalo Bills defense, so understandably so. All right?
Wait a minute. Achane didn't have a problem with Buffalo's defense.
It was, I guess they use him a little bit differently over there. And then you got Travis Etienne, another one. 20 rushes, 55 yards, 3 receptions, 17. 9 points. 9. Not only aren't they really utilizing Etienne, okay? He gets the most. He's one of the backs that gets the most goal line carries in the red zone. Hold on, and as well, they're not even passing it to their studs like a Calvin Ridley, which I don't care about because that was John's. That's Raider Nation's guy. Raider Nation 2 receptions, 38 yards, and 1 TD.
Broken coverage.
Broke. Okay.
But I will say this. Listen, it's it all evens out at the end. All right, Kamish. Unfortunately, right now it hurts. This is what I keep telling myself to try to make myself feel better. But Jacksonville's defense was all over Atlanta. They didn't have to throw the ball. It was a broken coverage for Ridley. They didn't really have to run the ball, even though Travis Etienne had 20 rushes and only 55 yards. But there was no urgency to score like that. Their defense dominated Atlanta. Atlanta couldn't get anything started.
All right. Listen, I got to go back on my team for a second. We talked about this guy.
This guy.
I know it was 31-3. I understand you're going to run the ball. But CeeDee Lamb, again, this is a common occurrence. This has been about 2 or 3 weeks now. I've been talking about this guy. 4 receptions, 36 yards, and 1 touchdown, 1 rush, 12 yards. I mean, are you? I know. There's a lot of beeps. I do apologize. Sensitive material. But he's pissing me the
Yeah, I can understand your frustration. Again, I do. You're lucky he had a touchdown, though. That saved his day, fantasy-wise.
All right, let's look at the benches for Raider Nation. Raider Nation 44.
Well, listen.
Hold on.
Okay, Commish, I understand your frustration, but we got to give credit where credit is due.
Yes.
He is 4-0. He's the top of the division. He's the second highest scoring team in the league.
Who's the first?
You.
First, 1-3. Second, 4-0. There's a difference.
Yeah, it's a big difference. Yeah.
But let's talk about. Hold on. Good. You were saying. Go ahead.
He's put together a solid team, and every week it just seems like there's someone else stepping up. Who would have seen Nico, performing the way he is? Calvin had a good first week, and then he's kind of disappeared the last few weeks. Justin Jefferson has been consistent. Josh Allen had a tremendous week, 44 points, second highest score, next only to Christian McCaffrey. when you get 18 points from your kicker, again, a lot of things are going right for him right now. So I'm going to give him credit. He had a good draft. It's translated into a good start of the season.
All right. And let's not forget he had David.
He almost had his bonehead start of the week with Montgomery.
With Montgomery, 36 points, and he sat him. Listen, I don't blame him on that one. You know what I mean? I just don't blame him on that one. All right, we're gonna move on because I'm sick and tired. It's giving me a.
Yeah.
All right. We talked about the biggest performer of the week. This week's matchup of the week. You and I decided that again. It goes back to I believe week 3's matchup. Was it 3 or was it 2?
Week 2.
Week 2. It goes back to week 2's matchup, and we're gonna circle here El Nino versus Devil Dog. We chose this game again. And we remember the last game between these two guys. El Nino
coined the phrase "wrestling match in the phone booth."
Wrestling match in the phone, but El Nino lost Nick Chubb in this game. So let's not hope that happens. Let's not pray that happens again. But Devil Dog is he's favorite here to win by.
It's a really close matchup.
Yeah.
And the point spread's only 1.5 points. This is for the division lead. And you have the third highest score in the league with El Nino. So this is why we picked this to be game of the week.
Mm-hmm.
You want to get into it? Maybe take a look at a few key players.
All right.
Obviously McCaffrey.
Oh, he's going with Sam Howell as his quarterback against Chicago. I mean, I don't blame him.
At the moment of this recording, yes, he's going with Sam Howell.
Wow. Okay. And he's going with Kenneth Gainwell as his running back. Terry McLaurin, Brandon Ayuk, he's starting, of course.
Well,
and he's sitting Russell Wilson against the New York Jets. That's not a bad move. It's not a bad move.
No, I can understand his thinking on this. Chicago's defense is a sieve.
Okay.
So, that might be a good move for him. He's only got, as of right now, he's only got, 12 hours, less than 12 hours to make a change if he wants to. But I don't think he will. I think he's going to go with this lineup. Gainwell, even though you might think that that's a weak start, he really doesn't have anyone else on his bench because of his injuries.
All right, and Mr. Devil Dog 4-0 going with Tua. Derrick Henry again. He's trying to ride his pony to the stables. DeAndre Swift, Thielen. He's starting Thielen this week. Christian Kirk getting all the love in Jacksonville over Ridley.
Yes.
Olave, hopefully he comes back. Higbee, you got Higbee with what's his name? And don't forget, El Nino's getting the wide receiver from the Rams back.
Oh, Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp.
That guy.
He's getting Cooper Kupp back
Almost
soon.
forgot about him.
Yeah, well, don't forget because when he comes back, him and Puka are gonna eat all day long. Let's hope. All right. On the benches, he really doesn't have anyone. He's sitting. Well, obviously he's sitting DK because of.
I'm not gonna. Obviously this is a very much an opinion show. All right.
Right.
So we're not here to judge everyone's starts or the reason why. But I take and I can't argue with his starting lineup at all. But I just think Breece Hall's gonna have a hell of a game.
Well,
they said in the media that they're gonna unleash him. There's not gonna be any drawbacks. Let's just see, how that plays out.
yeah, I see. All right, that's a good
Game
call.
of the week.
All right, that's the game of the week. We'll talk about that next week's podcast. Cole, we're gonna. Last week we had the first segment of Pick'ems.
Yes.
All right, and we broke it down from last week, and believe it or not, you and I tied 3 wins and 3 losses each from last week. All right, based on our Pick'ems.
Yes, it was trench warfare for us last week.
So this week we're gonna do our Pick'ems for this week.
Yes.
All right. Let's
get into it.
Let's get into it. Game number 1, Leathernecks and Butt Fumble. Butt Fumble is favored by 6 points. Who do you got?
I think I'm going to go with Butt Fumble on this one. I just think he has a better all-around team. I think the wide receivers for Leathernecks are a little soft, and T. Higgins might not even play. He still has time to change that in the lineup, but I just think all around Butt Fumble's got the best chance.
Yeah, I'm going Butt Fumble as well. All right. Game number 2.
Game 2 on the agenda is myself against the champ.
Okay, Son of L is favored by 8 points in this one.
Yes.
Both 1 and 3 teams.
Yes.
All right.
I don't know what to say except the fact of I just hope my guys perform.
All right. That's it. I think with Nathaniel Dell, I think I don't know with the emergence of Nico Collins. I think I just don't understand. You get some weeks with Nathaniel Dell, and then you get duds. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown, you have to monitor that injury. Jameer Gibbs. I mean, if it isn't now, it's when. It's when with Gibbs. When. All right. He's got Lamar. Alvin Kamara is playing well. James Conner is facing Cincinnati. Cincinnati's got a pretty good defense, but they're playing at home, and James Conner is kind of, he's doing well.
I took a look. I went to the archives. James Conner does do well in Arizona at home. Yes.
Yeah. And then you got on DeAndre Hopkins has been a question mark. We talked about that. Tyler Boyd. That's a good pick.
Higgins out.
Yeah, right. That's a good pickup right there. Tyler Boyd, and he's starting. All right, Tyreek Hill. Obviously, Tyreek, I feel he's going to feast on the New York Giants secondary.
Listen, the only question in my mind is how many points will Dolphins score against the Giants? Unfortunately, I'm a Giant fan, but can they duplicate 70 points?
I don't think so.
The way the Giants defense has looked, I think they might have a chance.
I don't think so. I'm going with Son of L. All right.
Yeah, I'm going with me. Obviously.
Of course.
I almost wanted to change my mind and go with Son of L also.
You could do that.
Yeah.
All right. This game, obviously, the matchup of the week is going to be El Nino and Devil Dog. This is a tough one to pick. Who do you got?
I'm going with the young stud over here. I'm going with the Padawan.
Okay, I'm going with Devil Dog. So you have El Nino. I have the father. I think this is going to be. I think El Nino comes home from work and he's going to be pissed off at his old man again. That's just me. All right. Let's go to the next game. It's going to be Family Curse and Raider Nation. Do we really need to click onto this? Raider Nation favored by 18 points.
Let's kick on. Just to give it a quick overview.
All right. He's got Samaje Perine. He's a Denver fan. I mean, no.
Well, Perine did come from Cincy.
Yeah, well.
And, Cincy Sam, he's a loyal guy.
And he's still playing the Cincinnati Bengals defense against Arizona. I mean, what are you going to do?
Would you?
He has a lot of buys.
He has a lot of buys. He's got no choice but to go that route. And unfortunately, because of those buys, that's the reason why, Raider Nation is favored by so much. For me, it's Raider Nation.
Yeah, so I take Raider Nation. Raider Nation might be going 5-0. It's terrible. So the next game, show me your TDs versus Just My Luck. Show me your TDs here, Just My Luck. Who do you have, real quick, Cole?
I've got.
He's bringing Jonathan Taylor in the game.
I see. That's hopeful. I think Brandon is looking for Todd Gurley 2.0. We're going to talk about this. He was the only team to start 1-3 and make it and win the championship, and he rode Todd Gurley those 2 years. That was the second year he had Gurley. I am pretty sure he's hoping that Jonathan Taylor is his Todd Gurley this year.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what he has to say.
And then the other surprise, Rashee Rice. He's another guy who's got a lot of guys on buys.
Mm-hmm.
But Rashee Rice is coming up right now, and I think he's looking for him to do something. But I'm still going with show me your TDs.
You know what? Just because of Rico Dodell, I'm going with Just My Luck.
He's not playing.
Doesn't matter. I like the name.
Okay.
It's catchy. All right. Obviously, the last game of the week is my game. Ricky let me down. I'm favored by 6 points. I'm favored every week for the most part.
Yes,
every week I'm favored. Yeah. Now, don't forget, Crystal Blue scored 96 points last week, right? Mm-hmm. He'll score about 156 against me this week.
Well, let's, now that we just...
Hold on. Who do you have? Ricky or Crystal Blue? Obviously, I go on Ricky. Who do you have?
Well, I believe he's got 2 Dolphins on his team, and they're playing the Giants, and that alone is going to send me to Crystal Blue's corner.
Okay. That's it. That's all I need to know. Thanks. All right.
Sorry.
That's okay. I don't need to hear no more. All right. How about that? You can go fuck.
Yeah. Love you too, Commissioner.
All right.
I just want to see one thing. All right.
Hold on now. We got to go to the standings. All right.
We'll go to standings. Okay.
All right. We'll go to. Just hear me out. We're going to go to the standings. In the standings in the North Division, Raider Nation, obviously we've been talking about it for the last couple of weeks. It leads the division 4-0. Crystal Blues 3-1. Family Curse moved up a little bit, 2-2. Just My Luck 1-3. Ricky let me down 1-3. Show me your titties 1-3. In the South Division, Devil Dogs 4-0. El Nino 3-1. Buff Fumble is 2-2. 13th Legion 1-3. Son of L 1-3. And Leathernecks 1-3. Listen, there's 6 teams 1-3. However, there were four champs. All right, You have 3 former, 1 current. All 4 are 1-3 in 2023. I reached out. I reached out to 3 of those champs because I have you here. I can get your take after the interview. I called them up and I got an interview with them. I want to get their take on how they're feeling about being 1-3 and what are their chances of moving forward and what they have to do with the champion mindset of trying to move forward and win it all. You want to hear it?
Not really, but we have to do it.
All right. Listen up.
All right, gentlemen. Here on the line, I have just my luck. I have Show Me Your Titties. I have Son of L. Good evening, gentlemen. How are you guys?
Good evening.
All right,
Another
good.
beautiful night.
I'm glad you guys could be on tonight for this quick little interview I have for you guys. Listen, you guys, I brought you guys on the show because you guys are 1 current champ, 2 former champs, both. All 3 of you guys sitting at 1-3. You guys aren't the only ones. However, you're the 3. You 3, as well as a co-commissioner being a former champ, sitting at 1-3. I just want to bring you guys on to get your take on it. However, before I do that, just my luck. Just want to. He's the only individual in this league that's ever went 1-3 in 2018 and won the whole thing. So, just my luck. Care to elaborate on that real quick?
Well, yeah, I just definitely had some good luck, obviously, that year. But 1-3 is not where you want to be. But I think that if you play the waivers and trades properly, free agent pickups, you can definitely make a run at it. You know, we got a long season, and 1-3 is not bad, especially when you have a lot of parity in the league.
Very well said. Very well said. All right. That being said, Son of L, champ, current champ. How do you feel sitting 1-3? Are you happy with your team?
At this moment, I'm not, but I know when I drafted this team, the potential it had. You know, you always go into a season optimistic of where you're going to be within the first quarter of the season. So as of right now, you know, it's not where I want to be, but you know, I'm not 0-4. You know what I mean? I still have, I think, what could possibly be a big turnaround in the next couple of weeks, you know, because the bye weeks is starting. So, you know, this is going to change the dynamics of everything for every other team that I'll be facing. So, you know, you just got to make a run for it. You can't quit.
All right. All right. Show me your titties. Same question, sir. Being a former champ, as a matter of fact, not a former champ, you and Just Malik are the only 2 back-to-back champs in the league. You know, and that's pretty hard. How do you feel about being 1-3 and where your team sits as this present day? I mean, I know we make a lot of jokes about you. You're gonna sell your team, but I don't. I think you got a good team. You've had some bad luck as well. Can you talk about that?
Yes. Clearly, I've been here before. It seems like every season I start slow. This year is attributed to my lack of a first-round pick for Joe Mixon, who is garbage. So is the whole Cincinnati Bengals team. But we're 1-3 now. If we get 1-4 and 1-5, it gets a little spooky. So you guys have my number. It could be a yard sale.
That's funny. That's great. That's great. I mean, I don't like to see you sell your team off, you know, especially coming from Son of L. Son of L, last year you came into the playoffs. You just squeaked in. What was it? A 9-6 or 8-7 record? Which one was it?
I believe it was 8-7. I just kind of made it in. Sometimes you just need that opportunity, and then, you know, taking advantage of the waiver wire, people getting hot, making trades, you know, at the last minute for, you know, players that you feel is just going to take you over the hill, and next thing you know, you're standing on top of the mountain. So you just got to keep at it.
All right.
May I add something?
Yes, go ahead.
I think the most important thing is making it to the playoffs healthy with a head of steam. And I think we all are in position to do that. So we have a great season ahead.
Well,
I agree with that.
Listen, absolutely. Just Malak, don't forget, you know, speaking from experience, I remember when you won it all back to back, there was only one individual that carried you, and that individual's name was Mr. Todd Gurley. Do you remember those years?
I definitely do. I appreciate you, Todd. Shout out, Todd Gurley.
Yep. Listen, gentlemen, listen, I appreciate your time. I appreciate this interview. I appreciate you guys spending a little time with me tonight. You guys, you know, you're great champs. I appreciate your value to the league. You know, without you guys, there wouldn't be a league, you know, and I appreciate your competitiveness. And you know what? let's leave it on the field of battle each week. Does that sound fair?
Absolutely.
Always.
All right, boys.
Sounds
you guys
good.
sounds good. You guys have a good night, and I'll see you guys next week.
You got it. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good luck, everybody. Good luck.
Toodaloo, yard sale coming soon.
All right, so
Interesting take. I will
What-
say that.
what's your I got their take. I heard what they had to say. It's pretty good. AJ, was talking about there might be a fire sale soon if he goes 1-4. But what's your take being 1-3 and being a former champ? What do you have to do? What kind of mindset? What kind of stuff do you have to do for the season? Do you have to work the waiver? Do you have to work the trade? Do you have to work? Tell me.
The year that I did win it, and you and I spoke about this before. I like to remind you every now and then. But the year I won it, I was without a second and fourth round pick. The year before, I was trying to go for the championship. I made the playoffs, and I was trying to win it all. So I did what I had to do. Going into a draft without two high picks, is already detrimental. But I picked up good guys on the waiver wire and made a trade or two. And I think that's the same mindset you have to have right now as 1-3. You did your draft, you went in there with a well-prepared plan, and, Mike Tyson says,
Everyone has a plan to
everyone
get punched
has
in
a
the
plan
face.
until you get hit in the face, right? So you have to change your plan. So the change of plan is now maybe the guys that I chose for a variety of reasons, whether they underperformed, maybe they just didn't perform. You have to go in a different direction. I obviously have made a trade, this year. I'm always on the waiver wire, and that's something I'm not going to stop doing. It's going to have to be a total disappointment for me to say I'm going to give up and start trading my players away, especially since we've, made the league as such that you can try to make it all the way to the last week of the year with trades. And there have been teams that are just maybe 1 or 2 games over 500 making the playoffs and actually winning the championship. So I don't think anyone's out of it. So I'm going to keep plugging away, and I'm sure the other 1-3 guys are going to do the same. I know AJ's he says he might be one loss away from selling a fire sale, but I don't know. He's got too good of a team to give up. I think most people do. I think, every now and then guys underperform, something breaks the wrong way, but unless you're out there getting all your players are getting hurt, there's no reason to sell.
All right, that's a good take. All right, Cole, that's all I have for this week's recap, this week's show.
Yeah.
You have anything else to
add?
throw in?
No, hopefully, we got all our cussing out of the way. And the
there's more.
frustration doesn't build up for next week.
All right.
But I will say that, sorry to interrupt, but, for guys who live, breathe, and sweat fantasy for most of the year, some more than others, to start off the year 1-3 is disappointing to say the least.
Yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow. Trust me when I tell you. It's
Yeah.
especially when
A lot of cigars have been spoken during our spoken words.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I got to go back and still, I will never stop doing, research and trying to improve my team, until the final week and the final minutes of the game.
Yeah.
All right. That being said,
10 games to go. It's far from over right now.
it's not over. I appreciate you coming out this morning, taking time. I know you have to.
Let me shoot off and do my my real job.
Again,
Maybe we can make this full time.
thank you for coming down to the Commissioner's Cove.
Pleasure.
You
As
guys
usual.
be safe. Enjoy this week's games. Don't forget Thursday night game tonight, and I believe Sunday morning there's another game
Yes,
in London. So
yes.
set your lineups.
Don't
all right?
forget to set your lineups. Yes.
Take care of yourselves. Bye.
Watch it.